Hey guys, this is Martin Perdomo, the Elite Strategist, here with Lisa Mangru. And
Hello, everyone.
hey, we are a this is the Elite Mastermind. We're gonna call it the Elite Mastermind Show. Um, and today we're gonna talk about. We want to chat about. We talked about yesterday's video. We talked about goals, right? The importance of having goals during this time, this pandemic, and not just during this time, but during any time, right, Lisa?
Yes.
Having goals is extremely important because those that know, those that don't know where they're going, they're going to get there every time. Nowhere, right? We talked about the what, right? So why don't you talk about that a little bit, a quick recap, Lisa, and then we're going to go into the why.
Okay. So just to briefly recap what we spoke about yesterday, it's important to have goal setting, and not just in a time of worry or crisis like we're in now, but just in general, you really want to be setting goals for yourself so that you do have direction on, where you're going in life, the things that you want to do, the things that you want to accomplish and see into fruition. You should be setting goals. It's very important. It's so important to be clear on them and to write them down.
Clarity is power, right, my sister? Clarity is power.
Yes.
Clarity is power. We keep talking about that, and as a great book would say, without vision, the people perish. So you have to have clear vision and clear direction for your life. You know, Earl Nightingale, and I always quote Earl Nightingale because I love The Strangest Secret in the World. If you haven't heard that audio content, Earl Nightingale, he is considered the godfather of personal development. He is a gem. I mean, a total gem. Strangest secret in the world. And he talks about the mind, right? When we direct our mind to the direction we want, when he talks about goals, he says, imagine a ship at a port and you don't put, and you have and you don't put anyone at the helm. You don't put a captain at the helm. And you just turn the rudder on, turn the engines on and let it go, right? It won't go nowhere, right? We're lucky if it even leaves the port. But if it does leave the port, it'll probably end up crashed at an island somewhere and destroyed somewhere in an island. Well, that's the same thing with our minds. If we don't take control of our minds, he uses that analogy and that metaphor as if we don't take control of our minds and control our thoughts and that to control what we want and control our actions, it's the same thing. Now he uses another metaphor. He says he was driving down the street one day and he saw a man in this tiny little box in this massive machine, one of those big excavating machines. And he said, this man from this small and tight and close space was controlling this massive machine, right? Boom. And he's moving earth and moving things. And he says, and that's the same thing with us as human beings. We have this massive machine, which is our brain, and we don't use it as we should. And one of the things is it starts with your goals, right? And but I want to talk about the why. Lisa, tell us why. Once you know what you want, why is it important to know why you want it? Tell us on that. Give us your thought on that.
Okay. So the why is super important, guys. Your why is your driving force to keep you going towards what you want. Listen, if you don't have a reason why, a deep rooted why of, why do I want to be successful? Why do I want to be healthy? If you don't have answers to those questions, when you start to hit a wall, when you start to hit any kind of block, any kind of obstacle, if your why is not there, you won't be able to push through. You won't be able to keep going. Your why is what keeps you going. I know part of my why. I have quite a few, but part of my why is my family. I am the provider for my family, for my children. I know that I have to be there for them, and I know that, I can't come to them with a bunch of excuses, right? That if I set out a goal and I don't accomplish it, I can't go to them and say, well, I didn't reach this goal because of this reason. I can't do that. They're not waiting for excuses. They're expecting a roof over their head. They're expecting food on the table, and they're expecting a lot of other things as well. because they have high expectations of me and of life in general, which I want them to have. But it's that why keeps me moving forward, even when, it may appear on the surface to be difficult or challenging. My why says, no, you got to keep going, you got to push through. So knowing your why is very important. You got to be able to identify your why.
I'm going to leave people with a strategy, Lisa. I'm going to leave people with a strategy they can use to help them get to their true why. Because you see, we're both real estate investors. I'm a real estate investor, and when I'm coaching new investors, or I'm coaching someone and I'm helping them through this in one of my workshops, at my annual goal setting workshop, and they say, "Hey, what is it that you want?" We always start with the what, then we go with the why, and then we'll do another series. We'll do a series of this, and we'll talk about the third step in the next video. But we go to, what do you want, and then why do you want it? But how do you get to that? Why do you want it? When I sit down with someone and I'm talking to a new person I'm coaching and we're going through this exercise, most people will tell me when they are just coming into real estate and they want to start investing, and um, when they want to buy my course or they want to bring me on as a mentor, people I mentor or coach, they'll say, well, I want to be financially free. And there's something terribly flawed with that, because that's just above the surface. Why? When we get to 7 levels deep, is what I call it, 7 layers deep. And that's when you find the leverage. You see, your why is your emotional leverage to getting you to what you want. Right now, we are currently, it is March, 22nd, 2020, and we're going through a pandemic, the coronavirus. And even through this, I'm doing something every day, even if it's one thing every day, to get me closer to my goal, because my why is bigger than my what. Even if it's one thing, guys, even if it's one thing. So I'm going to give you the strategy, and that strategy is, when you write down your goals, ask yourself, or have someone ask you. It works really well, Lisa, when someone else asks you, why is that important to you? So, for instance, if you say to me, if I say to you, Lisa, I want to be financially free. That's why I want to buy real estate. That's why I want to have a rental portfolio, right? That's why I want to flip houses. That's why I want to wholesale houses, for instance. And you say to me, and I say, I want to be financially free. And you question that you need to ask yourself from there is 7 levels deep. Why is being financially free important to you? See that question? It just shifts. It shifts you inside. It shifts your mindset. Why is that important to me? And you will find that, hey, it is important to me because I want to be able to provide the life that I never had for my family, right? And why is providing the life that you never had to your family important to you? Wow, because when I was growing up, I'm just going to go right to it. When I was growing up, I had nothing. I used to sleep on a twin size bed. My mother used to go work at a factory. You see, now I'm getting really to the leverage, the pain, right? Because people change when there's that emotional, that's a lever. That's the emotional lever to get me to take action. That's the emotional lever. I can go on and on about this stuff, but you want to go 7 levels deep. And once you start feeling that shift inside, once you start feeling like you're almost like that emotion, you're almost tearing up, you've gotten your true why. You've gotten your true why. And write your goal. This is what I want, and this is why I want it. And look at that every day. And when things get tough, like they are today, March 22nd, 2020, we're going through this pandemic. When things get tough every day, look at that why. Be smart, be intelligent. Look at that why and remember, and try to do at least one thing every day to get you closer to that goal. Any thoughts, any final thoughts before we go here, Lisa?
Just stay positive, keep pushing forward, even in the midst of crisis, in the midst of challenge, you have to stay positive, and you have to be the solution. And there's so many ways in which each and every one of us can be a solution, and not only just to ourselves, but to our family members, our friends, our loved ones. It's important to step up and be the leader. And so I encourage everyone to do that.
Perfect. Thank you for watching, guys. This is the Elite Mastermind radio show. I mean, not radio show, the Elite Mastermind show. We just want to bring good vibes and quality strategies for people to improve and empower them through these difficult times. And not just through these difficult times, through all times, right? Because you may be watching this video 6 months a year, and this whole coronavirus thing will be way behind us. And we'll be looking back and saying, wow, we knew so little about this thing, and look where we are. We know so much now. And if we only knew what we know now, right? That's the thing. But if you could put yourself out there and say, think of it from that perspective and say, hey, if we knew what we know now, what would you be doing today to get closer to your goals? Remember, without vision, people perish. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.